Right, you're watching TVC Breakfast. Let's get to the next discussion now. The 2023 general election is set to be a record breaker with regards to youth participation, as data released by the Independent National Electoral Commission shows that the youths constitute the highest number of registered voters. 48 million out of the over 93 million eligible voters on register are youths. And going by recent political developments, it seems a large percentage of youths will participate in this election, unlike previous ones. Nigerian youths have been known to show apathy towards elections and politics, but it seems that that jinx has been broken, as youths are now at the forefront of political activities, with many even contesting for elected positions. And that's the crux of our discussion right now. Joining us in the studio is a special advisor for water and drainage resources to the Lagos State Governor and leader Ndigbo Group, Lagos, Joe Igbokwe. It's nice to have you join us here.
Thank you for having me.
Good morning. I hope you've rested well from the rallies and so on.
We are, the peak of events.
Oh, yes.
Few days to go.
No, a few days to elections. All right. Now, let me. If you cast our minds back to the pre-independence, all of the meetings, back and forth campaigning, were young people in their youthful age at the time, and they were at the forefront of activities up until the military came and then changed that process a little bit, and then we had elders coming in and so on. Otherwise, when it comes to political activity, we've always known it to be youthful activity. But we see the youth coming up on board now, showing interest. What do you think is behind this surge in the involvement of youth in the process?
First, dynamics will always change. It's number one. Two, the advent of social media also have. And then they are seeing what is happening in other climes, so they are keen in to begin to get involved in matters of elections and picking somebody who is going to represent you. So it's natural. It's natural. So, and we saw it coming, and it came, and a lot of work. We wouldn't know what we did to get here. A lot of work, street to street, meetings, and all kinds of things, especially in this election. There was too much consultations, permutations here and there, talking to people, telling them that this is your right, take it, so it's not going to be the same again.
And talking about youth, you have been at the receiving end of a lot of youth violence yourself. How are you putting all of this in context in this election?
Well, it's a price that we have to pay for our country. We've come a long way. I have a long history of, doing this. Publicity secretary for almost 15 years. So it's expected. It's expected. But I had thought that we are moving. That we couldn't have been coming to training. We had agitations and so many other things. We are brought to the fore, and then some of us. But some of us fell big victims, but it didn't stop us from doing what we want to do, because the nation first.
Oh yes, but let's see from this perspective. At various public fora, people talk about youth as leaders. But if we X-ray the Nigerian youth, how ready is the Nigerian youth for that leadership that everybody talks about? That ideally, it seems everybody talks about the ideal leadership. Somebody who is visionary, somebody who is concerned, somebody who is on ground, whatever. But if we X-ray the Nigerian youth, how ready is he for this leadership that is always often talked about?
No, you have to key in. You have to learn. First, you have to be schooled. And then you line up. Because there are people who cannot retire. You can't become a leader overnight. People ask about your antecedents. Where are you coming from? What have you done before? Because if you give a mediocre, because it's a youth, to lead a state or to lead a local government, you would have wasted 4 years. And if care is not taken, you waste 8 years. So we need to know what you have done that will make you occupy a certain position. You have to tell us what you have done. If you say you want to be a medical director in a hospital, okay, are you a doctor? What many years have you practiced the process? So these things, we challenge you. So first of all, you key in and begin to learn, begin to climb the ladder small, until you get there. It's not something that happens overnight. People have been there.
I was in one incident, you will remember it, when you were organizing the Igbo groups in Lagos.
Yes.
And some people were coming, I said, people should learn to stay on the queue.
Yes.
People should learn to stay on the queue.
Line up.
You can't just come out and say you want to be a leader.
No. Line up. Go and queue. Where were you in the days of the Locust? Where were you when we were fighting for June 1993? Is it not 30 years on? 30 years on. It's just like our principal. Yesterday I saw a photograph. When Abiola was moving with Abacha, he was at the back. The same logo.
Exactly.
30 years on. Yeah. Yorubas will say, it's not a day's job. Yes. You have to line up. We have seen it all.
Talking about lining up, the Igbo community in Lagos and Ashiwaju, they've come a long way. Why do you think that in spite of the relationship, there's still is tension between the Igbo community and Ashiwaju and the APC?
Well, you know, this is pure politics. You know, they will tell you that Igbo people have not ruled this country since the end of the Civil War in 1970. That's 50 years on. They will tell you. And it's not a dead job too. We kept on saying these things. Some of these things we are doing will hurt us when the time comes. So you have to get prepared. It's just that you are shouting and you everywhere. We know about structures. We know how we got here. If you want to be accepted by all Nigerians, if you want to win a general election, win South, win the North, East, West, you have to build bridges. Bridges. That's what we've been trying to teach, but it's difficult to understand. You have to build bridges. You have to build friendship. You have to work for people so that other people will work for you when the time comes. And I always use that one as an example. I said, these things are not overnight issues. Look at this big player, how he started. How in 2015, he came out in 2015.
2015, yeah.
2015, before, in 2012. He was the one that went to Daura after Buhari has lost in 2003, 2007, 2011. In 2012 or 2013, Ashiwaju went to Daura with Baba Konde, Dr. Momo. It was Momo that told me this, even before he died. He said, Joe, I want to give you this information. I've said it here before. I want to give you this information so that you know.
I'm privy to it.
Yes.
You don't need to.
So
I'm privy to it.
He went to him in Daura. He said, look, you came in 2003. You scored 11 million votes, you didn't win. 2003, you repeated the same feat. In 2011, you made it 12 million. I said, if I put 5 million Southwest, you will win. That's 16 million. If you add 5 million, 11, that's 16 million votes. I said, you win. Aisha was in the sitting room that day. And he said, don't leave him now, you want to kill the man. Let him be. Let him be. She said, don't worry about anything. We'll put you there. I won't tell you what Lagos did. You know, all the things that were needed to make this thing happen were, you know.
You mean the APC?
to make, APC, to make it happen in 2015, to make Buhari.
It was amazing. Sometimes
I won't tell you here.
Because of a logo,
yes,
he will leave Lagos and go to Katsina. He will leave Lagos and go to Kano just because we want to agree on a little nitty-gritty.
All right. We'll come back to get this interesting